this is my first time at the Land Back Festival, and I'm enjoying myself. I hope you are as well. My name is Jolene Joseph. I am A'ani. In my language, that's what we call our people. It translates to white clay in English from our creation stories. And the federal government call us Grovant, which actually is a French word. And I'm the executive director of the Native Wellness Institute. We are an organization based here in Multnomah County, and we serve Indian country across North America. And I'm also here representing the Future Generations Collaborative. We are one of the partners, yay, FGC. We're one of the partners with the Future Generations Collaborative, and we take the lead on the community engagement work. And some of you may have heard of this place called Barbie's Village. Raise your hand if you have heard of Barbie's Village. So this is one of Portland's recent land back stories. And so it started like 3.5 years ago. Well, actually it started 7 years ago when one of our members of the FGC named Barbie Shields, Atwai Barbie Shields, some of you here may know her. She unexpectedly passed away from a brain aneurysm, and she touched so many of us. We came together one day and we wanted to see what we could do to honor her and to keep her legacy of being of service to the community. And so we brainstormed and we came up with this idea called Barbie's Village. And Barbie's Village would be a tiny home village for Native women with small children. And so we didn't really know anything about tiny homes or doing anything like that, but we started talking to people and they would tell us to go talk to other people. And we kept doing that until 3.5 years ago, we came together with some like-hearted and like-minded people from the Presbyterian Church. And long story short, and it was a long story, the Presbytery of the Cascades gifted, well actually it was for $1, but they gave the former Laurelhurst Presbyterian Church to the Future Generations Collaborative to build Barbie's Village, a tiny home village for the Native community. Yeah. So this generous offer and land back effort has provided a 2.5-acre campus that the building is currently being renovated. It was a building built in the 1970s. It's currently being renovated. We're getting ready to actually start a social media page so you all can follow along in the renovation. We have one bathroom done. That's totally done. And yay, I know. Even the first person that used that bathroom is here, but I won't point them out. Anyway, we're starting the renovations on the other parts of the building. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful building for our community. Yesterday, we held a memorial there. There's been a wedding there. There's been all kinds of meetings and trainings and community gatherings there. Our next gathering will be next Friday. We're having a backpack bonanza for our young people returning back to school. In October, we'll have an Indigenous Peoples Day celebration there. This will be our third Indigenous Peoples Day celebration there at Barbie's Village. So one of the main things I wanted to share about this whole land back movement is that it started with a vision, right? It started with a vision of what could be possible. And then that was fueled by prayers. It was fueled by imagination and determination. It was fueled by seeing our women and families in our community that are couch surfing and camping and not having a place to live. That vision included them. And through lots of hurdles over that 3.5 years, that vision came to fruition. And it included the prayers of many people that are here today. And so we're so excited to join the land back movement and a literal land back. And of course, as we've heard today, we'll hear after, land back, is more than just literal land back, right? Land back is about taking our power back, right? To be able to dance or learn a song or speak our language or be connected to one another as we're doing here. So Land Back is a movement, right? It's a movement of healing. It's a movement of connection. And so I'm so happy just to briefly be here to share the story of Barbie's Village and Land Back. So please follow the Future Generations Collaborative on social media, and you'll get to see the beautiful transformation that will be happening in the building. Lots of other amazing things are happening with our little ones. So the FGC, we address public health issues in the community, including early childhood education, because we want our littles to start out in a good way, strong of body, mind, and spirit. And with a collaboration with Clackamas County, we'll be opening up a native preschool. So even if you don't live in Clackamas County, but you have a little preschooler, please stop by this booth and get some information. The first round of applications are due by like tomorrow, and then we'll open up the second batch of application. But we have a non-native teacher and a native assistant teacher for that classroom, and the classroom will open at the end of September. We also have weekly play groups and all kinds of things for our young families as well. So I want everyone to, I'm going to teach you a few things before I close. So everybody go like this, go like this. Okay, this means good. Like this means good in Indian Sign Language. And now go like this. So this is what all of you are. And guess what this is? Good looking. Hey! Awesome. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for patroning our native vendors. And thank you for just bringing the good energy here. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Could I ask a follow-up question? Yeah. We still have some folks setting up the band here. Let's give a round of applause for Jillian Joseph, first of all. You don't know how much of a treasure this person is for the community. But some follow-up questions. So we're talking about Land Back. You gave a great example of the church just giving their property and like literally signing the deed over to your organization and to the families. That will be like great project. If somebody like is not in a capacity to sign over a deed, in what ways could they live out this Land Back idea in their lives? Whether they're a renter or they're just a supporter in the neighborhood, what are some of the ways that all of us could embody this idea?
Great question. You can sign over your money. Hey, no, just kidding. Well, you can do that too. So I love it that we're expanding on the idea of what Land Back is, right? And some of us don't have land to give back, right? But there's other things that we can do. We can be an ally, as an example. We can embrace really what white supremacy is all about and the ways that it plays out in our children's schools, in our grandchildren's schools, in our churches, and around the community. Like, we need allies to step up for us and stop those cycles of white supremacy. That's one of the ways that colonization continues to play out. So that's one thing that we can do to contribute to the Land Back movement. We can also seek to be allies in other ways, right? Like attending events like this, patroning Native businesses. We can take a look at all of the holidays and things that are coming up and what are the true meaning behind them. Like there's this holiday that happens in November that there's lots of stereotypes around. We can seek to find out what is the true story behind all of these, right? We can really think about where are the natives? You know, we hear about land acknowledgements and all this kind of stuff, but like where are the natives, you know, currently, right? Where are they and how are they living? And what can I do to uplift this community? And yes, we can also donate money to causes that are trying to do different things, like Barbie's Village. Like level 2 of our transformation is the renovations of the building. Stage 3 will be the fundraising for the tiny homes. So if you have, you know, that rich auntie or uncle that wants to donate, like we can also find opportunities to donate money as well. So those are a few examples off the top of my head. And honestly, we can also think about What are we doing to protect the water? Like there's a great booth over there that is doing that kind of work. What are we doing to protect the land? Even if it's walking back to your car and picking up a piece of trash, right? What can we do to be a better steward to our Mother Earth? And then that ripples across to other people. What can I do to be the best human being that I can? How can I be kind and caring and compassionate to others? So that's a few things.
Wonderful. Another question. Julie, I've had the privilege of hearing you speak before. You do a really great, you frame it as land back's not this revenge, we're taking the land back and we're upset for what happened, but you frame it in a way, it's a healing movement that with all the stuff that's going on in our Native communities, these land back, culture back, language back is really healing for the generations yet to come.
Yeah, definitely. So in my world, like healing is the answer to everything. So when we look at the lasting impacts of colonization, every single one of us here, regardless of our age, our stage in life, regardless how we identify in terms of our heritage, all of us here have been impacted by colonization. And so part of that healing is figuring out how we've been impacted and how we can heal from those ongoing hurts. Because what we're trying to do with Land Back is address historical and intergenerational trauma that the root cause is colonization. So when we come from a place of healing, we can be kind and caring and compassionate to one another. We can come together from different backgrounds, like we did with Barbie's Village. We had Presbyterians and Lutherans, and I think a Methodist and traditionalists and all kinds of people that came together to make this vision a reality. It took all of us to do that. So when we approach things in a healing way and we come together in a good way, sure, we might have disagreements, and sometimes others may still try to bombard us with white supremacy, like happened in the Barbie's Village story. When we come from a place of healing, we can move around those. We can move around it. We can move under it and keep moving forward.
Wonderful. I think we have time for one more question while the band's still setting up. Thank you for entertaining us and sharing this knowledge. It is so wonderful. You're very generous with all of this. So a wrap-up question is, you mentioned the word colonization several times. And for those of us who are still learning what colonization is and the impact for both Native and non-Native people, like, you know, generations later, is still impacting us today. Could you share a little bit about what colonization is and how it impacts us?
Yeah. Well, the band might have to wait for me now. No, just kidding. So we could be here all day and night talking about colonization. So colonization, of course, when we think about this land in North America, right? And all of the hundreds of different nations that lived upon this land. And then one day, you know, people from across the waters came and decided they wanted the land and the resources, and they wanted us out of the way. And how that was attempted was the first was through genocide, right? Just literally wiping us off the face of the earth. And then when that couldn't happen, the strategies for colonization changed. And our languages, in addition to our life being taken, our land was taken, our languages were taken, our culture were taken, our children were taken, our women were taken, like all of this loss. So when I think about colonization, I think about massive loss. And many of our people today, many of the Native people walking around these park blocks today, what I call myself and what I call other people is that we are descendants of miracle survivors of genocide. Let me say that again. All of the Native people walking around in this park, we descend from miracle survivors of genocide. That's why we're still here. We have stories in our families, we have stories in our nations of people trying to snub us out, and yet we're still here. So Land Back also is about celebrating how awesome we are. It's about embracing that awesomeness and doing something for good for all of us, right? Like we're here, we're celebrating our culture, we're here celebrating each other, we're here lifting each other up. Like we're all gonna feel better when we leave here than when we came, right? So colonization is what happened to us. It isn't us. It doesn't define who we are. It was something that happened to us. And what we're doing now is we're trying to decolonize, right? We're trying to decolonize so that then we can re-indigenize and then indigenize who we are as tribal people. Give ourselves permission to dance and sing and learn our songs and pray and think the way our ancestors did. Because what colonization tried to do was to brainwash that out of us. So decolonization is just as important as understanding what colonization did and the lasting impacts, so that we can decolonize and heal and get to a place of re-indigenizing our thoughts, which then re-indigenizes our behaviors.
Thank you so much. Again, Jillian Joseph, let's give her a round of applause. The Future Generations Collaborative. They have a booth right over there. Make sure you stop by, learn more about Barbie Village and all the initiatives that they're doing, and follow them on social media to learn more.